I already made a video, but they were fingers on the screen, you know, little fingers on the screen, and when they can't fuck with the visuals, you know, not that I'm bothered, I don't really film anything worth seeing, but they'll just mess with the audio. So when I kind of watched it back, I uploaded a video the other day. It was about a guy that I knew that was involved in my targeting of my parents and then me, and he was also a part of my childhood that I'll maybe talk about one day. And I uploaded it without listening to it back first, and then when I watched it, once it was on my channel, there was no sound in it, you know. There was sound for like the first few minutes and then it just went off, so I had to delete it, unfortunately. So yeah, it's like they can't fuck with the screen, you know, the little fingers on the screen fannying about with it. That's why I screen record. I don't actually video, I just screen record with the video app open, but I'm not actually recording anything. So yeah, they just mess with the sound instead, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I was gonna, now it's getting dead windy now. I won't be able to hear anything because of the wind. I might just go back down there and just wander about. I don't even know where I am. I'm just wandering in a new place that I've never been before. Yeah, so this morning I took a little video of it. I've been walking around the local area lately with my phone on me, you know, turned on and in my pocket ready to go. So it discourages them. It's like fucking kryptonite to them, you know. They don't like it. They don't want caught on camera doing their fucking nonsense. So they've all been warned, and the tactics are a lot less now that I kind of walk about once I get out of the area. I'm not too bothered. I just take the battery out and put it in my bag because it's kind of few and far between then. Although they do kind of meet me on my route, you know. They know where it is that I'm going, and they'll kind of infiltrate me along the route. But this morning I was walked past by a couple, and this is a favourite tactic, you know. This happens at least a couple of times a week. They'll walk past me pushing an empty pushchair or pushing an empty pram with the kind of pram side, you know, turned facing towards me so that I see that the pram or the pushchair is empty. And it's obviously to kind of signify or symbolise the fact that my children, I don't have any contact with my children. There we go, there's the fingers on the screen. They're not mine. There's one hand, there's two hands. They don't do it, funnily enough, when the phone's facing towards me, when the screen's on my face. It's weird, isn't it? I suppose it'd be too obvious then. I'd be able to show my hands that it's not me doing it. But anyway, yeah, they do it it's obviously to symbolise, you know, that you don't have your children anymore, that your children aren't in your life. I mean, it can't possibly mean anything else. And it's not like, you know, these people are dropping their kids off at nursery or anything, because it's regardless of what time of day it happens. And, you know, it's very strange whatever route that I happen to take. And, you know, I know there's no nurseries along those routes, and I suppose you could argue they're dropping them off at the childminder. Well, you could argue fucking anything, couldn't you? Until the cows come home. They know exactly what they're doing, and they know the purpose and the meaning behind it, which is, I mean, they know as well that they're messing with my phone, that they're hacking my phone, you know, the police and the military and the NHS and the fire brigades who are all involved, you know. That's what kind of troubles me. I mean, this whole thing fucking troubles me, but the fact that the people that are involved in your targeting, there are the NHS, you know, the National Health Service, or if you're in America, it'll be like nurses and doctors. I don't know I don't think there is a health service there, is there? It's all kind of insurance based, but, you know, that's kind of worrying, isn't it? That these so-called, you know, care professionals, these people that work within the care industry, and they know that this is a programme to cycle, they know what's happening. They know the psychologists, the psychiatrists, the doctors, the nurses, they all know, the surgeons, they all know that this takes place. They absolutely are aware that this is happening within society. They just bullshit about it, you know. I've met some fucking nasty psychiatrists, unfortunately, over the past few years, and they know exactly what's fucking happening. They could not hide their fucking disgust of me. And, you know, for people who apparently don't know a person, don't know anything about them, you know, they certainly were looking at me in a kind of certain way as though I was a certain thing, a certain person that the narrative is that they try and make about me. But they absolutely know what's happening. So that's what's so disgusting about it, that they walk past people with an empty pushchair to try and psychologically destroy someone. And these are professionals, you know, these are mental health professionals, these are psychologists, psychiatrists that are part of this programme, that run this, that arrange the setup of this, you know, that work on the tactics that are used within this programme. These people are well aware of what's happening to people, that their lives are being fucking torn apart, you know, that they're trying to psychologically destroy you, and they're quite happy to participate in that. Like, how fucking sick must you be to walk past someone with an empty pushchair to symbolise the loss of your children? It can't symbolise anything else. It can't possibly mean anything else. I mean, you can kind of forgive, right? I do. I'm much too tolerant of these people. I've got much too... I kind of try and rationalise what it is that they're doing, and I try and put myself in their shoes. You know, I've never been... I've been a single parent. I was working class, you know, I worked, and I was on, I suppose, the breadline. You know, I wasn't buying any fancy food to eat, and I wasn't going on posh holidays. I didn't have an expensive car. I didn't have, you know, expensive outgoings. I didn't have a up-to-date phone, etc. I was really, really careful with my money, because my priorities were making sure that my children were fed and warm, you know. So I can try and take the moral high ground and say, like, I would never participate in this. But the fact is that I've never ever been at that low point where I've, you know, I had just had zero money to feed my kids. So I'll try and rationalise it like that in my head, thinking maybe these people have got nothing, maybe they can't feed their children, you know. And someone's told them, you know, walk past her with holding a coffee cup, and it really has no kind of detrimental effect. Maybe in their eyes they might think, oh, it's just walking past someone holding a coffee cup. But when you're someone's doing it to you 100 times a day, then obviously it does have a psychological effect. But a lot of these people, and I don't mean to be disparaging, they're quite thick, you know, the ones that take part, they're not thinkers. They're not people who have any kind of thought. They don't have any, you know, they're just sheep. They're people that would read something on Facebook and take it as fact, you know. They're those type of people. So I can kind of forgive them, and I do, you know. I'm much too tolerant about these clowns. Because I can kind of see, I kind of look a bit deeper into their lives, and I make excuses for them. But when someone's telling you to walk past someone pushing an empty pushchair, even if you're thick as fuck, even if you are the stupidest person in the world, that can only have one meaning, can't it? I mean, it's the loss of a child. It's either the death of a child or the loss of a child. And, you know, like I said, I don't like to try and take the moral high ground. I would never do that, you know, because I've never been in the position that maybe some of these people are, where they really, really rely on the money that they're getting for doing these things. But I would honestly like to think that even if I'd taken part in this bullshit, doing this to someone, that I would draw the line somewhere. That I would draw the line if someone said to me, walk past this person pushing an empty pushchair, that really that would be the point at which I would draw the line and say, no, you know, that's fucking bullshit. That can only have one meaning to it, and I can't do that to someone else, you know. And like I say, it's easy for me to, as an outsider looking in, to say that, well, I would never do that, you know. But I really would, I mean, I would never do any of this. I never would, but like I say, I do try and kind of play it. I try and kind of understand these people in my head and what they're going through, and maybe what situation they're in, you know. It's, I downplay their actions, really, and, you know, it's bullshit as well, because you see most of them walking about, and although they are working class, although they're not working, but they are the, you know, what you would call working class, but they've always got fags, you know, they've always got booze, and, you know, you kind of make priorities when you have things, so. But I try not to be too harsh. I try not to be too harsh on people and think, you know, I've never been in that position, I can't really judge. I try not to judge people too harshly. I'm quite, you know, I'm not a hateful person. I don't hate on people. I try and think what's maybe triggered this in their past, what's maybe their childhood been like, you know, maybe they've not lived a very nice life and this is what they're like. But the walking past you with a pushchair, an empty pushchair thing, it does make me want to stab them in the throat. It really does, you know. And I just add that I'm not threatening to stab anyone in the throat. I'm not threatening violence on anyone before you police cunts who are watching this lifetime try and find a reason to fucking arrest me for something, making threats. I'm not threatening it, I'm just saying, you know, that it makes me angry. And they know this, of course, because it is the total psychological destruction of a person, but how sick is it, you know? How sick must these people be that they kind of get to a point where they have to do these things to you? They have to really go hard in kind of using my children and the loss of my children and the devastation that caused me, you know, to try and have like an emotional effect on me, you know, the total emotional destruction of me as a person, which is, let me just say, it's not going to work. If I was going to do anything, you know, the most devastated I was in the first kind of year and a half of the last 2 years has all been about bringing myself out of that fucking destruction feeling, you know. I tried to take my own life in the first year and a half that they did this to me, but I'm a much stronger person now, you know. I think knowledge is definitely key to this. Realising what it was that they were doing definitely gives you a little bit more kind of oomph, a little bit kind of more fighting spirit within yourself. Once you realise that this is, you know, in fact, people that are doing these things, and it is a kind of orchestrated programme. These people are carrying out these things, these disgusting fucking Nazi bastard police, military, NHS scum that are doing these things to people, you know. It's just sick, it really is sick when you start thinking about it, but yeah, you're not going to win, you're not going to devastate me. I was absolutely devastated for the first year and a half, but now I've kind of managed to pull myself out of it, and I'm probably a lot stronger now than I ever was before. So really your little fucking destruction games had the opposite effect, you know. I've definitely got a lot more confidence, and I'm a lot more willing to say fuck you to people, you know. But anyway, I'm going to put that short up. I can avoid filming people within this area because I live here, and I know that they will use it as an excuse to spread around the narrative that I am the problem in the area, you know. They will love to show this to people and go, look, these people are just dropped their grandchild off at nursery and this bitch is filming them saying that they're doing this on purpose. But I don't fear these people, and I don't fear what it is that they speak of me, because I know that they're just going to speak a lot of shite regardless of what it is that I do. So I'm kind of past the point of caring, so I just want everyone to see their faces, you know. And once I've left this area, I will tag the area, I will hashtag the area that I live in, so everyone within the area that's ever searching for this place on YouTube will come across my videos hopefully and see some of the people in the area that participate in gang stalking, you know, because I think that would be quite helpful to other people. But anyway, spread whatever narrative you want, you fucking scummy bastards. Anyway, to the rest of you, what are they doing to my phone? These are settings, I don't even fucking know what these are. Anyway, take care, God bless you all, lots of love, bye bye, take care.